Hey guys, Andrew McFarland here from StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope you guys are happy and healthy and excited to start your business or grow your existing business. Today, we are talking about when you should hire employees, and we're going to go deep into this subject. It's going to be very valuable, so you're definitely going to want to stay to the end of the video. But before we dive in, if you are new to this channel, you don't know who I am, you don't know what we do, over the last decade, myself and our company has had the pleasure of running our own juice concepts, as well as supporting hundreds of people all over the world launch and scale successful juice concepts, smoothie trucks, acai bowl businesses, healthy cafes, and more. So all the insights and tips and tricks on this channel are coming from that wealth of experience. Early invitation to press the like button. That supports the channel. It also supports you, so you get to see the videos when they come out. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so you're probably asking yourself, when am I going to need to hire my first employee or employees? Depending on what kind of business model you're starting. You might be in a situation where you're working from a commercial kitchen and strictly doing delivery. You might be opening a storefront. And so all these things are going to be really important, because what I see happen, and the mistake that often takes place, is people end up hiring employees when they're drowning, when they can't do it anymore. And that's a really tough spot to be in, to try to hire people. Why? Because you barely have enough time to manage your own business and all the demands that are coming, much less to look around, to qualify and put job postings out, interview people, hire them, and then also train them. It takes work to hire people, right? You need bandwidth to do that. And so this is why it's always important in every aspect of your business to be slightly ahead of the game, right? To be ahead of what your needs are. So in some ways, the question is when to hire employees, and the answer is before you need them. But I'm going to get deeper into that, because definitely you don't want to be in a situation where you hire people and there are too many people that you have and they're just sitting around twiddling their thumbs, and that's costing you money, because we all know hiring people is an investment. And I want to just accentuate that point for a moment. I remember I spoke to a friend about a year or so ago who, solopreneur, she has a video production business, and she was just noticing the difference in our lifestyles, right? From how I work and how she's working. And she was like asking me, she said, how is it that you are able to hire so many people and delegate people? Every time I get to the point where, even though I can afford to and I want to, I think about hiring people as an expense, where I could keep some of that money instead of delegating that and hiring someone else. And I said, really, that's the problem, is you have to realize that your employees are an investment. They're an investment in your business, in the same way that you're going to invest in juicers, you're going to invest in marketing, you're going to invest in people for you to run your business. And you have to do it before you need them, or let's say slightly before, so you have some padding and room for growth. Because if you're on time in some ways, you're behind, okay? So the first question that you're going to want to ask yourself when it comes to hiring employees, let's just give an example. Let's say you're a solopreneur, okay? And we're going to get into some of the financial aspects of this later on, so don't worry, I'm not going to negate that, because we know it does take money. But first, let's start with, if you're a solopreneur and you're making juices from a commercial kitchen, or you've retrofitted your house and you're making juice, and you're getting so busy that you really aren't capable of keeping up with things, okay? One question that you want to ask yourself, even prior to that, and this is always in your business, is what is the value of the task that I'm doing? You can estimate it and break it down monetarily. Are you performing a $2 task per hour, a $5, a $10, a $15, a $20, $100 task per hour, right? Because not all of the things that you do in your given day are equally valuable, okay? Some things you do are less valuable, and some things that you do that are less valuable can be delegated to other people, right? So that's the first thing that you want to ask yourself, because it's what is known as opportunity costs. Okay, you are doing one thing instead of doing something else, and the higher value tasks are meant to create disproportionate leverage in your business's growth and execution. So you want to, as the entrepreneur in your business, keep orienting yourself to those higher and higher value tasks and delegate the lower and lower value tasks from a monetary and skill set basis. Okay, that's the first thing you need to think about. Now, the second thing is really understanding what is the timeline for these things. Depending on what your projections are for your growth, because it's going to be different for everyone. And this is kind of the art form, because you're not going to always be correct. But let's just give an example. You have a storefront that you're going to open. Okay. And you know you're going to open at your goal is a specific date. Let's say it's 3 months away. Okay, good. Now you can work your way backwards from that starting date to say, okay, who are the key staff that I need to bring in? And what are the timelines that it's going to take me to interview them, to onboard and train them, and so forth. So a couple key things. Let's give an example of the most critical person in your business when you're starting, other than you, is your general manager. Okay, your general manager, if they're good, they're probably employed somewhere. If they're employed somewhere, that means that they probably have a 2-week to 4-week minimum that they need to give the employer that they're currently with to transition out of their job. Okay, so you got to work your way backwards. I also suggest that when hiring a GM, you work with them for about a month prior to your opening. So if we work our way back, you want to work with them for a month before your opening. They're going to take a month, maybe, right? 2 weeks to a month to transition from their current job. So now you're at 2 months. And it's going to take you probably a few weeks between putting the job posting out and doing the interviews. So now you're at 2.5 months at minimum to when you want to start the process for hiring your GM. Also, depending on how quickly you can go through resumes and so forth, you might be 3 months out. So that's sort of the rough timeline for your GM. The other thing too is I suggest that you have your GM hire the rest of your staff so that they can be responsible for the people. You can work with them in collaboration with hiring the rest of the staff, but you want to make sure that they build their team so they can be accountable to the people that they've hired. Okay. So, and that process is going to take probably around a month because those employees probably have a 2-week time frame. And you can hire them quickly. And because they're less critical and you're going to have more of them, you're less vulnerable when it comes to hiring these kinds of employees, right? But this is the thought process, just in general, I was giving you examples, really working your way backwards from the timeline of how long do they need before they can transition? How long do you need with them? How long is the interviewing process going to take? And so forth. One general note when it comes to hiring employees, and this is the reality, it's, I don't know if we'll say it's a sad reality or it's just the reality that it's a lot easier to fire people than it is to hire people. Now, firing people is it's not a great feeling. It's really unfortunate, but it is the nature of being in business and you're gonna go through it for various, variation of reasons. Could be performance for employees, could be the fact that your business can't afford it because you've overprojected and you wanna do your best not to do that. But in terms of risk and liability, if you have less employees than you need, okay, you're going to end up in a situation where customer service might be slow, quality of the product might be slow, right, or diminished because you're rushing to do things. You never want to be overly scrambling to manage the business because things are falling apart if you are understaffed. If you're overstaffed, the unfortunate part is that you're going to have to let some people go. So what's the way to try to balance this out, right? To try to avoid that is when you're doing interviews and you're going to be hiring people, find out for your kind of technician level staff, do people require to be on full-time or are they open to part-time and desire full-time? Because people who are open to part-time, they know what the expectations are and they will have a little bit more flexibility in their schedule for you and your business. So be aware of this as you're hiring people and you might end up with more individuals, but if they're willing to be part-time, you can kind of work the schedule out to help manage all of that. So when it comes to when the moment and the right time to hire employees is, it's going to definitely depend on your situation, but you're going to want to ask yourself a couple of key things, right? When do I think I'm going to need these employees? And work my way backwards in a timeline from there, depending on what the role of the employee is. Are they a manager or are they a technician level staff? And for managers, it's going to take a lot more time to go through the resumes and do the interviewing process and all of that. Okay, but philosophically, always in your business, and we're going to talk about the money in a moment, right? But asking yourself the question, what task am I doing now and can I delegate this and what's the value of the task, okay? Because if you can, then you're probably doing something that's actually hurting you in your business when you can be putting your attention towards things that are going to grow the business. Okay, so now let's talk about the money. Because a lot of the reason that people don't hire employees is because they don't have the money to do so. And as I was saying in the very beginning, you kind of want to hire employees before you're ready. This is why in all aspects of the business, you need to be properly funded, okay? Just like you wouldn't go in and start a juice business without a juicer and think, oh, I'm going to make my juice with a mortar and pestle because that's the cheapest thing to do and I can't afford a juicer. Well, even though you can make juice with a nut milk bag and crushing things with your hands, it's not smart to do that because you don't have the right leverage. And this is a big thing because people don't think about employees that way, but it's all about leverage, leveraging your time so you can increase your output for minimal input. Or I should say less input, right? This is what we're doing all the time in business and in life. You're going to put energy in and get energy out. So it's not intelligent to try to squeeze and break up celery and crush it with a stone and then take I can make juice this way. It's totally possible, but it's going to take me 5 hours to probably make one juice. So then I have a juicer. That's one point of leverage. People are the same thing. So this is why you need to raise money for your business if you can't afford to hire people. Because what will happen if you don't is you might get stuck on the treadmill of making money, but never having enough of a cushion to hire people so that you can create more growth in your business. I see this happen all the time, especially with people who are solopreneurs, who are making juice from commercial kitchens and doing delivery and have small scale business. They're very busy. So in that way, they feel like they're succeeding. And on one level, you might be. But when it comes to actual monetary success and growth success, there's quicksand that they're trying to stay out of, but they can never get far enough out to really, take a run for it or really grow their business. And they're just maintaining these things. So that might mean if you're not in business yet, putting a business plan together, talking to investors, talking to banks, so you're properly funded. Or if you are in business, same thing. Putting a business plan together, talking to banks, talking to investors. If you need support with this and the idea of putting a business plan together is overwhelming you or you're just not 110% confident in your capacity to do that, which is natural because if you don't do this, I remember me writing my first business plan. It took me 2 weeks to do, and then I go back and look at it, and I thought, man, the fact that I gave this to people is scary. Knowing what I know now, right? I actually thought it was good, and it wasn't. And so if you need help with this, reach out to me personally at Andrew@StartAJuiceBar.com. Would be happy to discuss how we can help you with your business plan and other pitch elements so you can raise money for your product, so you have the resources to hire employees before you need them. The other analogy that I give is sort of like, think about your employees and your business as a whole as a vehicle. If you need a job in order to buy a car to get to the job, what do you do first? You're going to get a loan on the vehicle so you can actually drive to work. Because if you wait the other way around, you're never going to be able to have a job because you're not going to be able to get to work. It's the same thing in the business. If you don't have employees to help grow your business, you're never going to have a business that can grow. So I hope that lands. That's it for today. This is Andrew McFarland with StartAJuiceBar.com. Hope this is insightful. Hope it was helpful. Hope you guys are happy and healthy and things are going well in your business and in your life. Reach out to us. Happy to help. If you're not following us on Instagram, you definitely want to do that at StartAJuiceBar. We have exclusive giveaways and exclusive content that we only release there. If you like podcasts, follow us at the Juice Bar Experts Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, really easy to find. And then lastly, if you haven't liked the video yet, time to like the video. This is the moment. I'll wait. Okay, thank you. And subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get alerted anytime we release new content. Until next time, take care. Hope you guys have been enjoying the video content. If you are inspired to launch your juice business, but you're not exactly sure what steps to take, for you, we've created a free ebook, 15 Steps to Starting a Juice Business from Scratch. This is going to give you a high-level overview of everything you need to do from where you are now all the way to opening your business. Now, if you want to go even deeper, we've created an online course, the Juice Bar Master Blueprint. This is going to go into great detail into every aspect of starting your business, everything from branding to menu development to finding the right location, the equipment that you need, and so much more, all the way to launching your business. There's links for both of these in the description below. I know you're going to find a lot of value out of them. As always, hope you guys are happy and healthy, wishing you a lot of success, and I'll see you at the next video.